Hey guys, this is Locke. This is my guide about Quicken, how it works, the design behind it, and also some of the weaknesses behind the designing of Quicken. This is a typical Quicken setup. I have Titus as my carry, I have Nivlu, and I have Gilgamesh as my two Quickeners. Take a look at their agilities. So I have 105 here, 101, and I want Titus to go last because he can move and then he gets Quicken twice. Now, I don't know if you caught that, but this is actually what you should not be doing with Quicken. And I will show you why you shouldn't be doing this. But anyway, we're going to start it off. This is how typically you would want your units to be set up. Everyone within two spaces of each other, so everybody gets the maximum affinity bonuses. We can quickly check the agility again for everybody: 113, 116, and 115. So let's take a look and see how it goes. So first of all, one of my Quickeners should go first, and I'm going to cast Quicken on the carry. So I'm going to do this, and then my second Quickener will go, and I will use Quicken as well. So this looks like this is exactly what we want our units to be doing. Titus is going to first of all buff himself or whoever he can, and then he's going to go up to try to get a double turn and kill everybody within the double turns that he gets, because he gets two Quicken casts. But if you take a look, this is not actually what happens. Both Quickens resolve in the same turn, and he actually only gets one Quicken to go. So that is part of its design of how cast times work. So that is the first thing that you should actually keep in mind, that you cannot, if you keep your agilities of your units to be too close to each other, this is going to happen, where both Quicken casts resolve in the exact same cast tick, that they will both resolve, and your unit, your carry, will only get one Quicken effect instead of two, which we don't really want. So I will show the easiest, well, one of the easiest ways to fix that. There's like a skill cap to using Quicken and pulling off combos. So I'm just gonna, this is really like the introduction to it, but so I'm only gonna go with like the easiest solutions to avoid this problem. So how cast speeds work is that there is whenever a skill hits 1000 cast speed is when it hits. Quicken has a cast speed of 280. So this means that it requires three casts to four casts to resolve. But because I'm using a skill called speed cast, this reduces the ticks needed from 4 to 3. I can explain it in a lot more detail, and I would actually have to like put the numbers together and explain it. So right now you just have to take my word for it, unfortunately. Otherwise, this is going to be a very long video. So what this does is it reduces the ticks required from 4 to 3. So one easy way to get rid of this problem is if I replace one of the speed casts with long range. Now they're going to cast on two different cycles. So now I should be able to get this to work, where I have Titus buffing going first, doing something, and then one Quicken resolves, and then after he does something, the second Quicken resolves. So let's try this and hope this actually works. So Gilgamesh is going to get his first turn. He's going to cast Quicken on my Titus. Then Nivlu is going to get her next turn, and she's going to cast Quicken as well. And now Titus gets to go. So again, he will use his buff first turn. Maybe I'll have him here and use his buff to everybody. And then he will get his first turn to do something. So maybe he will kill one opponent with spear shot or something, right? And after he's done that, or maybe he can even move forward if the enemies are quite far away, he can move even more forward and use the second cast of his skill to kill them. So this is typically how this works. You have to, first of all, set, like, you don't want to have the maximum agility available. If you do, you have to set one of them to have a different resolution of Quicken to set it up so that one finishes on one cast and the other one finishes on the second cast. I hope you get what I mean. But anyway, you saw the example that I did, so I hope that's kind of clear. So now I'm going to talk about one of the biggest problems with using Quicken as a Quicken user. So I have, say, Yuna on my opponent team. I'm going to pretend this Yuna is actually on my opponent's team, not mine. And I'm going to set her up, like a typical Yuna. So she has all of these things. She is going to be focused on damage, so she has that. And she has, say, this for magic resistance. I think this is pretty typical of how a Yuna is set up. So let's just take a look and see how this would resolve. So I'm going to assume that Titus cannot reach the opponent from where he is on turn 1, but with one Quicken cast, he can. Let's just assume that. So this is how it's going to go out. I'm going to start off the exact same way. My Gilgamesh is going to start Quicken on Titus, and then my Nivlu is going to start Quicken on Titus again. And again, we're assuming that my opponent is somewhere that I cannot reach them on the first turn, but if I move 3 spaces on the first turn and then I move 3 spaces on the second turn, I can kill them. That's what the assumption is. So let's take a look. Now, here we already see what the problem is. So Titus, if Titus uses Cheer here, and he goes 3 steps forward so that when Quicken resolves, he can go forward and kill Yuna, that's not going to happen, because if once I stop my turn here, Yuna gets a cast, and if I can reach her within 3 spaces, if I move 3 spaces and I can kill her, that means from where she's standing, she can move 3 spaces as well and kill my Titus. Of course, we're assuming that Titus can one-shot Yuna and Yuna can one-shot Titus, but this is the problem. Like if I move right now, Yuna, we're assuming, can kill me. So I have to, I have to wait, I guess, or I have to do something else. I have to use a barrier or something, but I can't go forward. So I have to wait, and I have to let Yuna do something. Maybe Yuna doesn't realize what's going on, and she just like starts buffing like nimble movement or something, right? And so now I get my chance, because now I can, move forward, and I just have a free turn right now. So I'm just going to cast like Fleet of Foot or something, right? And then now, again, we're assuming that Yuna is so far away that now I will move 3 spaces, and now I can kill Yuna with Taunting Blade. So I could do that on the second cast, but I hope you're already seeing kind of what the problem is. Let's take a look at the agilities just to try to make the problem more apparent. So my Titus has 113 agility, Gilgamesh has 116 agility, and Nivlu has 115 agility. Meanwhile, Yuna has 102 agility. So she is slower than my carry by 11 agility, and she's already taking a turn before Quicken goes off. So this is the fast Quicken that she's able to take a turn between. Suppose that next to Yuna was Sakura, and Sakura is also, we're assuming, going to be able to one-shot Titus, and she has a speed of 90. Let's just assume. So now what happens is if I move my Titus, because I saw what was happening the first turn, I didn't do anything. I just used like Cheer or something, and Yuna did whatever she did, and then now I get a double turn. So Gilgamesh uses Quicken on Titus. Titus moves up, and when it ends, Sakura with 90 agility is able to take her turn before Nivlu's Quicken goes off. So I can't. It's very hard that like all 3 Quickens will line up for me to take a triple turn, and these are quite big agility differences. I have to like make like the only time when Titus will get a triple turn before any of my opponent's units go is if all 3 of my opponent's units has a agility of somewhere around like 80 something, 88 or below, something like that. But it's quite slow, right? Like even Yuna without any affinity bonuses, let me just move him out of the way. When Yuna without any affinity bonuses is at 96. So this is like it's very hard to be able to do that, to be able to get a turn like that where I can move 3 times in a row and obliterate the enemy. Usually enemies get turns in between, and if my enemy is so fast, like say I have 3 units like this, where everyone has an agility above 113, So say, my enemy, Yuna, Sakura, and say Garval all have agilities between, like, say all of them have an agility of 114. So they will all go before Titus does. So what happens in that case? Well, they will have to prepare something that is defensive in nature. So if you look at the way that I set up my team, um, I've already thought of that in consideration. Like suppose all my units agilities are between like 116 to 113. If I meet an enemy whose quick resolves 2 turns, uh, sorry, if I meet an enemy who is slower than my Titus and his quickens resolve before I can do anything, he's going to get a triple turn. So what can I do in that case? I have things like this. I have Yuna's clothing. I have this, so I can try to set people up to not get one shot. Basically, here I will again. I'll show you what I would do. So I will move Titus here, and I believe Gilgamesh goes first. Yeah. So this is what I would do if my units were so fast that all of them move before my enemy gets to move. I would do something like Knight's Blessing, and then move over here, and I would get her to use this. And now check how much damage my Yuna does to this team. Like even with Energy Ray, she is going to. Okay, well, she kills that. She kills Niblu because Niblu has, like Niblu is a level 99 unit with absolutely no defenses, only 3,400 HP. So I guess she kills Niblu. But typically, like comparing her to level 120 units, like she doesn't one-shot them. She does, 2,800 damage here, and she does 3,000 damage to Gilgamesh. Now you can say that, okay, so if she gets a triple turn, she's going to move once, she's going to use this skill, and then maybe she uses like, what's the skill? The Black Rose Helena skill. I don't remember what it's called, but basically 2 insta-cast spells to completely obliterate the team. And yes, that can happen. So you have to like how defensive do you want to be? That becomes part of the question, right? So so if I'm the person playing Quicken, I have to keep all of these scenarios in mind. Like I have to think about, okay, maybe my entire team will go before my opponent team, and I will be able to get a triple turn and completely obliterate the enemy. That can happen. Or my enemy's team will be so fast that he can move 3 times. Like he can move all of his units before any of my units gets to go, and what do I do then? I have to keep that in mind. But these two are actually the best case scenarios. If all my enemies units go before I do, or all my enemies units go after I do, those are the best scenarios for me as a person playing Quicken. The worst case scenario is the thing I showcased earlier, where Yuna gets a turn in between the Quicken cast, because then it becomes dangerous for my Titus to approach. And if it becomes dangerous for him to approach, like if he could from where he starts, if he could kill, like if he could just run up 3 spaces and attack, I wouldn't even need Quicken. Like there's no point in using Quicken. I could just use 3 units that are here that could all just attack on the first turn. There's no need for Quicken then, right? So so this is one of the challenges of using Quicken. So I'm telling you this so that you guys can try to think about it. Like if you don't want to use Quicken, try, like if you can take turns in between, this is what you have to think about. Okay, my enemy is going to attack, like this Quicken is going to resolve, he's going to come up, but he won't be in range to do anything because he already moved, like he already did something, he won't be able to attack, and now I get to take a turn in between and I will go and kill him. That's how you guys should be thinking of, like whenever a person is using a skill, this icon comes up and you can see when it resolves. In this case, like all my units already moved, so Yuna's cast will resolve like pretty much instantaneously. But like if I use the next cast, for example, if I'm using this Quicken, you can see when it resolves, like all 3 of the units gets to move before this Quicken cast resolves. So this is pretty much how Quicken works. There's cast times involved. You have to, like, you can't put both units at the same speed and the exact same cast time and expect to get a triple turn Quicken. You have to either have one unit significantly slower speed, or you have to change the cast time of Quicken by removing speed casting or something like that. Um, uh, or if you're using shell, I'm going to exit this to showcase shell. Shell or shell, I don't know. I call her shell, but some people call her shell. Either way, I'm going to showcase her and show you something unique about her, which is why she's probably one of the most, if not powerful, Quicken users in the game. So she has a mastery. Uh, she has a mastery that decreases activation time by 25%. So if I stack this with the speed cast, which also does, I think, something like 25%, this reduces the cast speed from, like before I was saying that you start off by needing 4 ticks before Quicken will cast. If I put a speed cast passive on, you need 3 ticks. With Shell's mastery ability and speed cast, you only need 2 ticks. So this is why Shell is really, really powerful as a Quicken user. Not that she has the fastest agility in the game. Both Nivlu and Gilgamesh can get a higher in-game agility than Shell could, but Shell's Quicken has the capacity to resolve before anyone else's Quicken does. So even if she has a lower agility, her Quicken will be the fastest, which makes her more powerful if I'm only looking at a quickening unit. So I can use Shell with speed cast on, and I can use, like, say, Nivlu with speed cast on, and I can be confident that, assuming both of them have similar agilities, I can be confident that both the Quickens will resolve on a different tick. So that's that's how it works. Those are the specifics of how it works, and those are also some of the challenges that Quicken users have. Um, so anyway, one thing that I used to do, actually, let me go back to show you. Uh, so what I used to do when I was playing this exact team. So the team I just showcased, right? What I used to do before was like I used to play this team where I would use Titus with 2 Quicken users, and I couldn't attack on turn 1. So what I did was I would again quicken, or sorry, not quicken. I would shield and buff. So I would do something like Knight's Blessing, and then I would move you here, and again I would use this and Smile Practice, and then I would run up a Titus and cast Sentinel, right? So now my Yuna, which, like, because this is how it's set up, I have her here, but really she should be somewhere like, over here where she's coming from. So Yuna has a few options. Assuming that this is a double quicken setup, she can attack Titus for like 2,000 damage. Even if she gets a triple turn, she can attack. Well, it's not a triple turn, but usually it's a double turn. Because I wouldn't do this exactly if it was a triple turn. But usually when I played this exact formation in class match, my enemies would get 1 turn to move and then 2 turns to attack. So if she's taking 2 attacks, she can come up and hit Titus for 2,000 damage, and then chain it with a different skill that would maybe do like another 2,000 damage, maybe 2,500 damage, but it won't kill him. And on my turn that I get to go, Titus will one-shot Yuna, and if he doesn't one-shot Yuna, I have my 2 quickeners here backing him up, that one of them will quicken him, and then he will be able to kill Yuna. So Yuna has that option. Yuna can try to attack Titus and attack him again, or she can use the 2 quicken casts, so she can move up with 1 quicken cast, and then she can wait for it to resolve, and then she can move up again with the 2nd quicken cast, and she will be somewhere around this area that she can try to attack. Let me try to find a better spot. She will be able to try to take out my geez, I can't target. Okay, yeah, so like basically she has to make the choice. She will take out my my quickeners, or and she might not even be able to take out both, but she will take out one of my quickeners, but she'll be stuck between Titus and my quickener, such that Titus can now turn back and attack, and it'll be like she is separated from the other quickeners, with giving me an opportunity to attack. So this is something else that I've done. Like, so I'm using Titus here and intentionally moving him up, knowing that he won't die because he has Sentinel, he has a shield, and he has a protect shell barrier on him. So with that, it's going to be very, very difficult for enemies to kill him. So they can hit him twice and then retreat if they want. But if they do that, I will catch up and kill them. Or they can ignore him and go towards my quickeners and try to take on my back line. And usually one of my quickeners is more vulnerable to that and they die. But my other quickener usually, like in 95% of cases, lives to an attack like this. And when they live, now the enemy is stuck between here, that my Titus normal attack, or my Titus's first attack plus quicken attack, is usually enough to take them out. So to fight quickeners, it's not enough to just bulk up. You need to have a counterattack strategy, because what's the point of bulking up? Like, if I can have three, like say Engelbert, Warrior of Light, and Rain or something. If I have three tanks that all buff each other and stand still and can survive a triple turn from any quicken unit, that's great. But if they can't move forward and advance an attack, what's the point? I will just keep getting kited down. So to play against Quicken, it's not enough to just be able to take the damage. You have to have a counterattack plan in mind. And this was my counterattack plan, to have Titus move up like this. This way, my enemy only has a couple of options. My enemy that's quickening can attack him, but they won't be able to kill him. Or they can move even more further and attack my backline, but then Titus will kill them. So this team composition worked to take out most other double quicken composition, including like double gunner, double quicken compositions. Like, it worked pretty effectively against them, unless I made like a stupid mistake, which I have done a few times. But this worked, and that's what I used. Like, every comp has a weakness. This specific comp, I had a lot of trouble taking out actual bruiser comps, because this is focused on a second turn quickening, and it gives bruiser comps like too much momentum to build defensively, that I can't go in and first turn kill. Like, maybe if my comp was built around a first turn quicken, maybe I can take out bruisers more easier, or maybe not. My point is that every comp has a weakness. I've told you, a few weaknesses of the Quicken strategy. First is that Quickens usually resolve between enemies' casts. And the second is that if you have a plan like this, where you have a counterattack plan ready to go, and you are bulky enough to survive, it's going to be pretty hard for them to take you out, because you have a strategy already in mind. When they come to attack, you're ready. You can take them out. So I hope this video helped. I know a lot of people are frustrated playing against Quicken. And in another video, I will actually talk about what it would be like if Quicken wasn't around. And that actually deals with part of my CM strategy for this CM. So, stay tuned to that. I hope to release it, in the next few days, hopefully tomorrow, but we'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And have a good day. Take care.